So I'm going to start an intro. It's about to go live. I'm going to start an intro. What's going on, guys? It's Carroll from MyMMAnews.com and Carroll's Corner MMA podcast. We're doing a special broadcast today on Cage Wars Facebook page, and I'm joined by David Tutuska. David, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, David, you're fighting in the Flyweight title fight against Joe Byers. Tell us a little bit about your opponent and what you expect from him.
Well, I've been studying my opponent the best I can. I know he's a well-rounded guy. Comes from a Muay Thai background, so we're ready to make fireworks happen. I'm just gonna stay humble with it. I'm not gonna do the whole trash talking like other people do. It's not how I roll. I'm very humble. I just go out there and display the skills that I put in and also the work that I put in. Just nobody's worked as hard as I have to get where I am, and this possibly could be my closing deal before I make my step to pro. So we'll take one fight at a time right now.
Oh, and right now I see you're in uniform, military uniform. So thank you for our service. For your service to our country. Excuse me.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm actually a recruiter for the New York Army National Guard, so
awesome.
I work right now in the office.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about your training, what gym you train out of, and how you got into MMA.
Well, I'll start off how I got into MMA. So I wrestled 13 years. I come from a very diverse background for wrestling. I've been all over, been to nationals, I've been to states. I've traveled for wrestling. That set me up to get into, further my competitive sport, further my, competition as far as a combat contact sport. So I started looking at MMA. I stepped into Mohawk Valley Mixed Martial Arts about 5 years ago. It's been probably the best decision I've ever made. Duff Holmes, along with Ben, we had Pete come through. We have a lot of trainers that help us out. So the gym itself, it's probably a top-notch gym. And that just set me up. I went in there, told Duff I was ready to fight. He's seen where I was at. I took on my first opponent. I won by a split decision. Other than that, every other win and loss has come in the first round. So, I just make fireworks happen and take care of business.
And, tell us why do you fight, though? I've seen you fight. You are a talented fighter. But, you obviously have a job where you can, I guess, relax and you don't have to get in there and fight. Why is it that you get in there and want to compete?
I get in there and want to compete for the reason being solely is I want to make a name for myself. I want to be somebody that's remembered not only for my military service and not only for the positives I do bring to life, but also to kind of be a motivator to other people. I didn't come from the the richest family. I didn't come from the most, sports pressing family. I chose that direction on my own. I basically have honed myself to want to do that. So, the reason why I fight is, I want to make money down the road. Obviously, that's what the whole world goes around. But I want to make a name for myself. I want to, leave my daughter when it is my time. I want to leave her blessed that, she's seen what I was and how far I've come in life. So I fight for my family and I fight for money. It's, it's just a passion of mine. I love to do it, and I love to do it in a professional setting such as, cage fighting with Cage Wars, especially.
Awesome. Yeah, and Cage Wars definitely puts on a great environment up at the Schenectady Casino outside of Albany, New York. Tell us where you want to go with your MMA career. You're an amateur. What's your record? What are your goals? You're fighting for a title right now. Short-term, long-term goals.
Well, so short-term goal is obviously to go out there and win this title. That's definitely my short-term goal. I've been putting in a lot of work. I just got back from Arkansas on Saturday. I've been in Arkansas the last 5 weeks, so it's been tough. I've been out of the gym, but I've been training hard while I was out there. With the humidity and being able to push myself through that heat, it's only going to help me. My goal, short term, like I said, is just to win this fight. Right now, my record sits at 5 wins and 1 loss. My only loss is to Zilao, which I've built a pretty good friendship with him now.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's where I'm at as record. As far as my long-term goal, like I said, this possibly could be my last amateur fight before I step to professional. And with that, it's going to be whatever my coach dictates that I want to do, as well as myself, and see where it goes. Obviously, everybody's dream is to go Bellator at UFC, so jump on that train too. That's the long-term goal for sure. Is like I said, I want to make a name for myself. I want to get famous, leave my last name, something to remember other than just military and other than just being somebody that's a motivator, but to show that I've worked my butt off to get where I am today.
Awesome, man. Tell us what you learned. You're talking about your only loss to Zilao. What did you learn from that fight that you can take and use for your future fights?
Well, I don't make excuses for anything. Zilao tells you. He'll tell everybody he got lucky, but that wasn't the case. He's a very, technical fighter. He beat me in a triangle choke in the first round. But aside from all of that, that was the worst weight cut of my life. I did cut somewhere around 27 pounds in 4 days because it was a fight that we had to make happen at a catch weight of 128, and I wasn't anywhere near there. I was ready to cut to 135, but Zilao stepped up to the plate and took the fight. So obviously, I did what I needed to do to cut the weight. But it did kill me the night of weigh-ins. I remember I pretty much passed out on the scale. But I'll never take anything from Zilao. He's a very technical fighter. I've got a great friendship with him, and I'd love to go up and train with them here and there as well. Kind of like our sister Jones, what people call us. But I've learned to to make sure I'm ready to cut whatever weight I need to cut, and also, not get caught in triangle chokes.
How would you explain your style? You said you have a wrestling background. Are you a guy who wants to bring it to the ground, or do you want to stand and bang with someone and throw mitts?
Well, I'm not afraid to stand in the pocket by any means. I mean, I've trained with the best trainers out there. I train with the best fight team out there. So I'm not afraid to stand and bang by any means. Obviously coming from a wrestling background, the ground game, if you look at my record and look at all my fights, the ground game is pretty much where I've gone. But I'm not shy to stand and bang either. I'll stand there in the pocket and throw all day. I'm very diverse. I'm very well-rounded with all aspects, and Mohawk Valley Mixed Martial Arts definitely hones those skills of being all well-rounded.
Awesome. And when you're not working and you're not training for a fight, what do you find yourself doing and enjoying for free time? I know you said you have your daughters, spending time with her, I assume. What do you enjoy doing for fun?
Well, my daughter's my number one, so I love to be with my daughter anywhere we need to go. Whether like this weekend I have to go to the zoo, and we just had a blessed day on Sunday. But aside from all parenting, training, and obviously my job, I spend a lot of my days just hunting, fishing, just being outdoors, enjoying the world, hiking, and then basically training some more.
Awesome. Have you gone hunting recently, or anytime catch anything any recent?
I have not gone hunting recently because, like I said, I was in Arkansas, and deer season doesn't start until September. But I did do some fishing before I had left to go to Arkansas.
Nice.
When I was in Arkansas, I didn't really do any fishing or anything. I was just out jet skiing most of the time on the weekends. But
awesome.
It's definitely it's fun to be outside, and that's what I love to do. And when I'm not working, I'm training. When I'm not training, I'm playing dad. When I'm not playing dad, I'm training more. So
awesome.
No matter what I'm doing, it's always revolving around staying physically fit, not only for my job but also for my career moving forward, for fighting, my progression.
Most definitely. And I noticed on Facebook, or actually Instagram, you just had a recent ceremony for work. Tell us a little bit about that and what it was about.
Yeah, so I took on, I left my old job and became a full-time. So I was in the Army National Guard. I've been in now 7 years. I started as a military police 10-day soldier, meaning I drew 1 week in a month, 2 weeks out of the year. And then in January, I began being a full-time recruiter. So I'm full-time active duty Army National Guard now. I became a recruiter, and I think my headset stopped over.
Awesome.
Just not looking.
No. You're not getting a connection with me?
Yeah, no, it wasn't working for me. Anyways, so I became a recruiter in January, and to become a recruiter, you have to go to recruiter school eventually. So I had went to recruiter school, and I just graduated recruiter school. So that's what that ceremony was. I made it 5 weeks, a lot of tests, a lot of essays, and I pushed through and made it to becoming a recruiter for the Army National Guard. So now I'm a legit recruiter.
Awesome. Well, congratulations to that. Tell us. We want to know about how you're talking about weight cutting and dieting. What are you doing as an amateur to make that leap to pro? That will make, I guess, an easy transition.
To make it a transition, I'm sorry, the last part cut out on me.
Oh, I was asking, what are you doing as an amateur for your diet and your training to make that eventual jump to pro an easy transition?
Well, I mean, it's from what I'm doing right now to what I'm going to do pro. It's pretty much going to be the exact same. We train, at Mohawk Valley Mixed Martial Arts, we train as professionals already. I mean, we from our type of sparring to our dieting. Duff is very knowledgeable on nutrition, very knowledgeable on what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. So we train like pros currently. So I can say that my diet probably will not change a whole lot, with the exception of eating a little bit healthier foods. Because I'll be honest, in between fight camps, I tend to eat some junk and I tend to drink some junk. But right now it's strictly water and just watching what I'm taking in and getting ready for this cut. And this cut's gonna go smooth. I still got 3 weeks, so right now last week I was at 158, and now I'm at 146. So I mean, it's coming off slowly but surely. I'll get the last 20 pounds within the next 2 weeks, I'm sure. And then we'll just stay where we are and jump on the scale and hit the ground running and be ready to go.
Excellent. Is there any challenges that Joe Byers present to you?
He didn't really have a whole lot of videos that I was able to locate, so I didn't get to watch them as much as I'd like to. Typically, I spend hours studying my opponents. I find weaknesses, I expose them. But I didn't get a whole lot of background to see where he comes from as far as in depth. But I can say is that I'm not scared of anything. It's obviously mixed martial arts. Anything can happen. So I'll stay humble with that. But at the end of the day, like, I've put in the work. My gym's put in the work. We're ready to bang. I mean, we're ready to make a show not only for ourselves and make a name for ourselves, but also make a show for Cage Wars so they can continue selling these tickets. Show the fans what they're paying to see. I don't want to go out there and dance around for 3 rounds and see who wins. No, I want to go out there and put in the work and see who's going to walk out the best man at the end of the night. But in fashion, whether it's him winning or myself winning, I'm going to always show him respect, just as he's probably going to show me respect. I haven't seen any trash talk from him yet, so we'll see what happens. But right now I'm just going to stay humble, and I'm just going to let my skills portray themselves and show themselves out there. But as far as afraid of what he has, I'm not really afraid of what he has, because I'm prepared for whatever he's going to bring.
Awesome. Tell us one thing about you that nobody knows, but you'd like to share with the fans and everyone.
I don't know. I don't really.
Doing another interview. I just had someone who's 32 years old tell me they don't know how to ride a bike. So, is there anything you're into or anything you do that really no one knows about?
Well, I mean, I just came out and told people I was starting this thing called paramotoring. So what that is it's actually it's a fan blade that goes on your back, and it's got a motor and it's got a parachute. You actually, it's a foot launch. Once you actually run and you take off and you can fly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're expensive. I just picked that up right before I went to Arkansas. But Tim has put the request in, not for me to try it until after these fights. So I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna try it until after the fight, because it's all I need to do is break a leg or something this far out from the fight. I put too much work in now to let something stop me like that. So we're gonna wait until after September 15th, and then we'll give that a run. But other than that, I'm just the average person, just living the American dream. Just pushing to be the best I can be and leave an impact on other people, whether it's with fight or whether it's with myself. I just want to leave an impact.
Most definitely. Well, David, I appreciate you hopping on and chatting with us. David's going to be fighting on September 15th up in Schenectady Resort and Casino outside of Albany. Make sure you go there, Cage Wars 38. If you want tickets, go to cagewarsny.com. Get tickets. If you can't go, myself and Will Barry will be commentating the fights on Fight TV. So make sure you go there, purchase a pay-per-view. It's $15, definitely worth it. Some awesome knockouts last time, great fights. David, I appreciate you hopping on and joining us. Best of luck on the 15th.
Thank you. Number one, baby, number one.
And this is MyMMAnews.com's Carroll's Corner MMA podcast signing out. Thank you, David, and best of luck.
Thank you.